lovelies, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Stephanie with Chubby Girl in the World, and today I'm going to do a Valentine's Day get ready with me. So most of the time on my channel I just talk about plus size fashion, but I am also a huge makeup lover, and sometimes I think that you can change up a look just with your makeup. So today I'm going to be doing a sultry kind of vampy Valentine's Day look. I know there's a lot of like pink and reddish type things and maroons that I think are really beautiful, but I am just kind of in a spicy sort of mood this Valentine's Day. So by the end of it, we're going to go from this to this to this. And so I also just wanted to take a chance to do this get ready with me and talk about self-love and talk about my thoughts on marriage and just relationships in general. First and foremost, I think the most important relationship is with yourself. I'm using the Urban Decay Primer Potion for my lids. I always do my eyes first because I am not talented enough not to get eyeshadow all over my foundation once I've put it on. So if you do your eyes first, you can wipe away any fallout. So that's usually what I do. That's just the way I was always taught, and that's how I do it. I know that there are other people who are team foundation first. I am not one of them. If you are, that's totally fine. Makeup is subjective. So I think, getting back to it, I think the most important relationship is with yourself, and to make sure that I don't think that we find our other halves. I think that you are a whole, full person all on your own, and I think that you need to know who you are before you can go and try to be with another person. I am going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I am going to use Chaser. I'm going to go into Chaser, and I'm going to put that I'm going to use that to set my primer. Windshield wiper motions and like counterclockwise. That seems to work for me because I have pretty crinkly eyelids, and it seems to help deposit color better and get it all over. So that's how I do it, but you can do it differently. So, and if you wanted to know, this is the Tapered Blending Luxie 229 brush. So anyway, we were able to meet each other through mutual friends. We kind of reconnected later, and then we got together. We went on a first date, and the rest was just kind of history. So I think other people who we hear from all the time, like coworkers and stuff, where they just aren't happy in their particular relationship, and I think it has a lot to do with just not communicating very well and kind of expecting your partner to be everything to you. And because we had to be long distance for almost 2 years, it kind of forced us to have our own lives and have our own friendships and other things. And I don't ever get upset with him for hanging out or talking to his friends or playing video games online, because he can do that. Like, he's his own person, and I think that that's totally fine. I'm gonna go into Low Blow to darken up the crease, actually to use this transition shade. So right here, ooh, that might be a little too dark for a transition shade, but we'll make it work. So yeah, he just is his own person, and I don't get upset about it because he's a big boy and he can do what he wants. He's not I don't know, I don't feel like your partner's beholden to you to like hang out with you all the time. Yeah, this side is much better. So this Low Blow is really more of a crease color. It's not really a transition color if you are my skin tone. It's just a little too dark for a transition shade, but that's okay. We'll buff it out on the other side. And you can't really expect your partner to be everything, like your friend, your inspiration, your I'm gonna go into Ounce, which is a much lighter color, and try and smooth this out. And you just can't expect everything. You can't be everything to every person, and that's okay. You're not meant to be. It's okay to have your own friendships. It's actually very healthy too. A sign of an unhealthy relationship is where you or the other person doesn't have friendships outside your relationship or you neglect them, it's really important to keep yourself engaged. Every time I go to like deepen up the crease, my auto exposure does something funny, or at least that's what I'm seeing in the viewfinder. But anyway, I think that a really healthy relationship is where you each have your own life, you each have your own hobbies, and you support each other through that. And I think that's, you know, I'm going to use my BH Cosmetics color switch. Oh, here. Oops, sorry, I'm blinding you. And meh. En Fuego is this color right here. So, I'm going to put that all over my lid, and you're going to see why in a second. So, I just think that it is really important to have a sense of self. And like I said, if you are single and you're somebody who's looking for someone, just go do stuff that you like doing, and that way you're kind of guaranteed to find someone who shares a similar interest. Now, you don't have to share every interest with your partner. I certainly don't. My husband and I are both kind of political junkies, but he's way more into video games and like board games than I am, and that's fine. Just, it keeps, the auto exposure keeps doing that. I'm sorry, I don't know. Ooh, I dropped my brush. I'll be right back. I have cleaned off the brush and color switched it a little bit. So I'm going to go in with another layer. You do have to build up. That's part of the Urban Decay formula. I think that this formula is a little bit older. It's not as pigmented as some of the newer formulas on the market, which is fine. And it's especially fine for someone if you are, say you're just learning how to do makeup and you're not really that comfortable with it. I think it's a good formula to learn on. I am going to take my tapered blending brush and blend out the edges just a little bit more. You can see my brow through this shirt. Didn't know that. There's the tea. Get it? Because it's iced tea. What was I talking about? One of my pieces of advice that you didn't ask for having a good relationship is just to kind of know yourself and understand what's really important to you and understand why you might want or need certain things. Some of us, you know, we have things in our past that it just doesn't, we're not ever going to get over them. We're going to have trust issues, we're going to have those things, but that's not your partner's fault, and you have to recognize that and work on that yourself and not make your partner pay for someone else's past mistakes. Seeing people do that. I am going to darken up the outer V with Ashes, and Ashes is this really dark, so it looks really brown in the pan, really dark, but it is actually a pretty maroon color when on the eye. So you'll see here, and I know that on camera this isn't translating great, but when we put on the shimmer in Ember, it's all gonna come together, I promise. So what are your guys' like secrets to a happy marriage or a happy relationship or partnership? Or I know some people are like, they don't believe in marriage, and that's fine. You totally don't have to. You don't have to get married. We wanted to get married because we felt like it was just a celebration of a thing that already existed. It wasn't like we felt we needed to get married. We just wanted to. And we've been together for 3 years before we got married. And the mistake people make is thinking that getting married is going to change something. Being married isn't going to change anything. It's just going to amplify the good things about your relationship and the bad things all at the same time. So, okay, this is getting a little patchy, so I'm going to blend out again. So this is, and I am not always like too fussed about blending out the edges because I wear glasses, and so most of the time if my edges are like edgy and not blended out, my glasses cover it up, so it doesn't really bug me. So yeah, okay, so I always take my eye shading brush and I'm going to go into Ember. So Ember is this color right here, and I'm going to dip into that, and then I'm going to spray my brush because that helps foil the shadow, and I'm gonna place right here. So you see how we're getting that really foiled pigment, that really foiled shimmer shade, and we're just gonna like take it all the way up to the crease, and we'll go back and define the crease in a little bit. My husband, I did this eye look last night for a Sunday night style guide, and my husband said that it was one of his favorite eye looks, so just in tribute, I'm going to go back into Ashes, which is the outer V shade we got, and then I'm going to take it back here and define this crease a little bit. Like sometimes people are like, oh, you want to make brown eyes pop with like greens and purples and stuff, but sometimes I just want a really dark, sultry, deep set look. And I messed up this eye. Can you tell? Can you tell? I bet you can tell. So if you do that, like I just did, and mess it up, here's what I do. I take a Q-tip. Not the most sanitary. Don't use somebody else's Q-tip like that. Don't do that. So, and then I just take the blending brush and then go over again. You can also take a dry one and do it if you like it grosses you out to put spittle on your face, which it probably should. It's probably not good for you. If you say that this look is just a little too dark for you and you want to redden it up, you can go into, say, Dirty Talk, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to take some Dirty Talk and I'm going to apply it there. And you can put it in your inner corner and just do like a half eye like that. And see, now you've compromised with your eyes. And your eyes are like, okay, cool. See? You were learning about relationships and didn't even know it. I kind of really like that look. I kind of do. So as you get older, if you don't know, your eyelids start to crinkle. I'm like almost 35. And so you can put all the eye cream you want on in the world, but you're still gonna get crinkles in your eyelids. It's just hope in a jar. That's all it is. And I totally did not succeed in making them the same, but that's okay. I've already moisturized and put on my SPF for the day. This is my new favorite thing. It is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Stick Foundation, and it is so fast and easy. Like this is in the color Buff Beige. So I realized too late that I actually am the color Buff Bisque, not Buff Beige. So this one is just like slightly more yellow than my actual skin tone, but I don't mind it. Like, I don't really mind it at all. I'm going to use my my Luxie 680 Pro Precision face brush, and we're going to just, I go down, I spread it down and out. And because I have lots and lots of little fuzzies on my face. I have a lot of peach fuzz, and I just find that when I go down and out, that seems to be the same direction as my peach fuzz, so it doesn't look, you can't notice a lot of the, you don't notice a lot of the peach fuzz when I do that. So I like that. So you can see, like, sometimes doing your base products after your eyes can be a little bit tricky because you have the area around your eye. So I will sometimes take the Eco 2 angled foundation brush and just kind of work it into the under eye like this. But we're not done yet, so HD Lifting Concealer. I haven't, it's not the same as their 16-hour camo concealer. I have not tried that yet. So you'll see that my face is pretty like tawny and glowy, but it is, there's still a little bit of the redness showing underneath my eyes and on the redness of my cheeks. And that is like, that is so yellow toned, it's messing with the white balance on my iPad. So yeah, but I'm really interested to know, like, how did you guys meet your significant other? Or are you still looking for your significant other? Are you still on the hunt for like that perfect person? Or maybe you're not on the hunt for them. Maybe you're just like, no, I'm good right now. I'm just doing them and good too. And so I'm taking a damp sponge and just kind of working it out. I do like the stick foundation. I don't mind just using the brush, but I find that with like kind of patting in the concealer with a damp sponge in addition to using the brush with the foundation, for me just works better. It's a perfect marriage of the two techniques. Ha ha ha. See what I did there? See what I did? I bet you did. So you can see that it is kind of lifting. It is kind of filling those fine lines without making them super creasy. And if you take the edge of your sponge here and then go up like that, you can get rid of the harsh lines there. You want to be careful, like, not to get it on your eyeliner though. So just be careful. You can see that it is kind of lifting. It is kind of filling those fine lines without making them super creasy. And if you take the edge of your sponge here and then go up like that, you can get rid of the harsh lines there. You want to be careful, like, not to get it on your eyeliner though. So just be careful. But yeah, I want to know, how did you meet your significant other? How did you, or if you have a dream way of meeting someone, what is it? I used to think that I wanted to meet someone like spontaneously, and I kind of wanted to, I'm going to use the Pretty Vulgar setting powder. It's not my favorite powder in the whole world, but I think if you are using it just to go out somewhere, I am using the round top blender to set my foundation. I know you're not really, ooh, it's a good thing I'm not going to go out in this shirt really well. I don't have a setting powder brush. I should probably get one because of that. But I feel like this works just fine, and it's not bad. Meet a green-eyed British man at a train station. Like, I kept having this dream. It was super weird. And it's funny because I met somebody who had like blue-green eyes and had a British accent after I met my husband, and I thought they were like the worst person ever. And so like my dream came true, but like it ended up being a nightmare, and I'm so happy that I ended up marrying my husband instead. Okay, so it's like, this is one of the reasons I don't like this powder. There is powder all over my table now. It is kind of impossible to tap out just enough powder. It's always way too much. So we're gonna go and use the Tarteist Pro Glo To Go palette, and it looks like this. And I'm gonna use this contour shade, and I'm gonna use this middle highlighting shade. So I'm going to take the Pro Precision face brush again, and I have cleaned it up. I'm gonna switch it off, do a color switch. This is for the contour, because it's a more dense brush. And what I do, I make a fish face, and then I blend up. That looks bad. Okay, so the mistake I have made here is that I have contoured a lot. And the way to fix this is to take a smaller contour brush. This has highlighter on it. I don't know why. So take the smaller contour brush and try and blend and diffuse out this contour as much as you can. I think that I just applied a little too much. So this side's not quite as bad. And the mistake I made was turning the brush sideways and kind of troweling up like this. That's when I said that powder was not my favorite powder. I kind of do like that it comes with this little poof, because when you make mistakes like this, you can take the little poof and kind of erase your sins, erase your makeup sins is better. So I would say, so we're not done yet, but I would say make sure that when you're doing your contour, that you're doing it, I have powder all over me, that when you're doing it, you just kind of are, this is probably too thick of a brush to do that. Usually what I do is I put the contour just on the edge of the brush and then stamp and then blend out, and I didn't do that this time. What I did was I stamped it, the whole brush, and then went up. Don't do that. So this is why we're practicing a few days ahead of Valentine's Day, right? A more natural looking blush, and I have the Bare Minerals blush in The Confession here. Oh my god. Stop dropping things, Stephanie. Okay. In it for some reason, like, well, it looks like it does, but the product comes off just fine. So sometimes when you get hard pan, sorry, there's an ambulance going by. Sometimes when you get hard pan, the product just won't come off. So that's what I like, and we're gonna take the Luxie tapered highlighting brush. We're gonna go into the color Burst here. I'm just going to very gently deposit that all over the tops of your cheekbones, and that way when the light hits your face, you just look like a glowing goddess. I love the e.l.f. brow pencil. It's one of my favorites, and I think you can get really natural looking brows, and I just love how easy it is to just color in the brows, run the spoolie through, and then go. So I don't know if you can tell, but I have been gifted with very full brows. There's a couple of spaces in there that I do just like coloring in, and just like, so brows. I love the e.l.f. brow pencil. It's one of my favorites, and I think you can get really natural looking brows, and I just love how easy it is to just color in the brows, run the spoolie through, and then go. So I don't know if you can tell, but I have been gifted with very full brows. There's a couple of spaces in there that I do just like coloring in and just like giving shape to, so that's what I like doing. But I'm gonna use another e.l.f. product called Wow Brow, and I have it in the shade Neutral Brown, and that one is really, it's a kind of like a brow mascara. That's how I roll, and I do like them to lay flat. I don't necessarily love like Instagram brows, like that's not really my thing, but you know, to each their own. And for lip colors, I am super excited. I never get to use my lip brush or this palette, and this is like, I'm supposed to be panning this. So this is the Urban Decay Urban Vice Lip Kit, and it's got, here we go. It's got Pandemonium, which is this pretty purple color, Wrath, which is this red color, Hex, which is this like kind of brick red color, and Backtalk, which is a neutral. I love mixing mixing Backtalk and Pandemonium. So you'll see what I mean in just a second. Now let's try to stop talking. say you wanted, okay, I have really uneven lips, so it's really hard for me to like line my lips without a lip liner. But say you wanted just like a pretty pink nude color to kind of contrast with this really bold eye look, you could stop here. But I'm extra, so I'm not going to. Now I'm going to dip into Pandemonium, which is the super pretty bright purple color. And I'm going to mix it in with Back Talk here. So do you see how it's kind of 2/3 Pandemonium, 1/3 Back Talk? And to me, that is just a beautiful color to offset the rosy gold, the rose gold eye look that we have. And now I'm going to go and do my eyelashes off camera, and then I'll come right back. Okay, lovely. So this is the finished eye look. The finished full face for Valentine's Day. So this is my sultry look, and obviously you're gonna want to do your hair, or maybe you don't. You can go out like this. You could. I definitely did not wake up this way, but I would walk out of the house like this. So I hope that you have an amazing Valentine's Day. I hope that this was fun hanging out and talking to you, and I hope that you will. I hope that you will have an amazing week and that you take really good care of yourself, and thanks so much for watching. Bye!